Namaste, beautiful tribe. There's a lot happening in the skies right now. So buckle up. We're about to dive into the most significant new moon of 2025. It's a powerhouse, a celestial powerhouse, and it's happening on June 25th, 2025. And it's going to shake things up, both personally and globally. Because this is just not any other new moon. It is a new moon in Gemini in the Ardha Nakshatra, and it's conjunct with Jupiter. And there is a Kalsar. The entire planets are in a grip of a very intense Kalsar yoga. So, what can we look forward to? We can expect transformations, breakthroughs, and karmic resets. I literally think that maybe this new moon is going to redefine us, our reality, and also it is going to have a ripple effect all over the world, and it is going to change the power structure, the geopolitical structure. There's going to be wake up calls, game changing happenings. So, if you want to learn more, smash the like button, subscribe, ring the bell, join us on this cosmic journey. We need followers, we need encouragement. So please, please, please subscribe. And let's get on with the magic of this epic new moon. First of all, let me explain why this new moon is monumental, why it is such a big deal. See, this new moon is happening in 10 degrees of Gemini in the Ardha Nakshatra. This is a nakshatra, a lunar mansion that is ruled by Rahu, and it is symbolized by a teardrop. Ardra, guided by Rudra, is the most fierce and dangerous form of Lord Shiva. It brings emotional release, clarity after chaos, and the power to rebuild stronger. But here's the kicker, this new moon is conjunct with Jupiter. Jupiter is expansive, it is the planet of wisdom, abundance, and it is transiting Gemini from May 2025 to June 2026. One whole year. And this rare alignment of a new moons are all about fresh beginnings and new intentions, sankalp, creative breakthroughs, spiritual awakenings. And not only that, there is this Kalsarpyo, where Kalsarpyo basically means that all the planets are trapped between Rahu, which is in Aquarius, and Ketu, which is in Leo right now. So it's some sort of a karmic vortex that is amplifying everything. This is the moment to plant seeds for transformation. This is the moment to redefine what you want to see happen for the rest of 2025. This is the moment to decide how the coming 6 months are going to play out. Let's talk about the elephant, or rather, the serpent, the sarp in the room. It's a Kalsarp Yoga. In Vedic astrology, this is an intense configuration that happens when all the planets are hemmed between Rahu and Ketu. This configuration is happening when Rahu is in Aquarius and Ketu is in Leo. There is a karmic coil that feels like destiny is knocking. This yoga can bring in challenges, opportunities, past life karma that you are being expected to resolve during this lifetime. And globally, it is linked to serious happenings, political upheavals, social unrest, natural events. If you have a Kalsar dosh in your birth chart, especially with Gemini, Aquarius, and Leo placements, this new moon can be very intense for you. It can feel like a cosmic wake up call. But daro mat, fear not. Ahead, I'm going to share some powerful remedies to harness this energy. Now, let me talk about what is happening outside on the global stage. India and its neighbors, that is Pakistan, China, and Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and maybe beyond Nepal, etc. Also, now this new moon in Gemini is conjunct with Jupiter and under the Kalsat Yoga. What this is bringing, because of Jupiter's expansive nature and because of Rahu's aggression, it is creating high stake cosmic climate. Here is the breakdown. This Mars Ketu conjunction in Leo, which is June 7th to July 28th, or maybe exact on July 20th, is very edgy. It's very volatile. Mars in Leo activates India's fourth house, homeland security, and Pakistan's eighth house, which is crisis and secrets. Rahu in Aquarius brings in deception, propaganda, cyber warfare, whereas Ardra brings its own brand of emotional intensity, and it will aggravate hidden issues, border disputes, terrorism, conflicts on resources, disruption of chains. Jupiter's presence offers some kind of a relief, some hope, kind of a hope for diplomatic breakthroughs. But July can see heightened vigilance or skirmishes. This new moon literally urges both nations to channel Ardra's transformative energy into peace talks. Now, let's look at China. For China, Rahu is in its 10th house. 10th house is government. Ketu is in the 4th house. 4th house is territory, homeland. So, this suggests a strategic posturing around LAC or trade disputes. India's Gemini new moon in the 2nd house, resource diplomacy, encourages economic negotiations. But the Khalsar karmic pull may make it very difficult for some kind of a diplomatic give and take to happen. Jupiter's wisdom could foster long term agreements, but only if both sides consciously choose to avoid escalation. Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. Bangladesh has Gemini in 10th house, government. I see political reforms and public unrest in Bangladesh amplified by Ardra's transformative energy. Sri Lanka is recovering economically and could see progress in trade and foreign aid thanks to Jupiter, but Khalsat will slow results. Both nations may lean on India for regional stability and broader South Asia. There are emotional undercurrents that suggest that political sentiment is volatile. Protests can light up anywhere in Southeast Asia. So I see a very tense period for Southeast Asia. What with July being critical due to Mars Ketu. So this new moon is a cosmic call for wisdom, for restraint, for unity. Let's hold in the light. Let's pray for peace in this region. Now let's talk about geographical events. The new moon in Ardra is very stormy. Ardra is water linked energy, and combined with Kalsar Pyog, it could trigger geographical events. Think cyclones, heavy monsoon rains, floods. Kalsar's karmic intensity often aligns with nature's way of balancing energy. The new moon in Ardra, with its stormy, water linked energy combined with the Khalsa Peak, is going to cause a lot of geographical events. Just try to visualize it. Ardra is this teardrop thing, Gemini is air. So when you have this emotional instability being uprooted and intensified with the energy of air, what is going to happen? Think cyclones, heavy monsoon rains, floods. Kalsarp has karmic intensity, and karmic intensity always wants purging, cleansing, and it brings nature into its power to cleanse, to purge, destroy, and redo. And India has a very long coastal region, and Bangladesh and Sri Lanka are also at risk from oceans. So I expect late June to have heavy cyclones. Ganga around and Brahmaputra and Sindh River. I think from Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, they're all at risk. The Mars Ketu conjunction in Leo may spark heat waves or wildfires in drier areas like Rajasthan, Punjab. Globally, water related events, floods, hurricanes, tsunamis could hit Southeast Asia, the Pacific, and other vulnerable zones. Saturn in Pisces started on March 29th, 2025, bringing oceanic and seismic activity into focus. The Pacific Ring of Fire has already shown a lot of instability. Now I see a triggering of earthquakes also in the Himalayan belts. Andaman Islands are also at risk. So, what do we as human beings do? What we need to do is, first of all, harness the power of the new moon. In India, we set a lot of importance on Sankalp, setting intentions. So, write down your intentions, especially in areas like learning, communication, creative projects. Jupiter's expansive energy supports big dreams. So, use that. Ardhara can disrupt old patterns, help you release self-defeating patterns that you may have picked up. So, journal, meditate, write down things that you want to let go. Write down patterns of your living that you want to release. And imagine that the teardrop of Ardhara is cleansing that away from your body. And use Jupiter's expansive energy to write down your intentions for something new, for a new way to communicate, a new creative project, a new way to learn. Invoke Rudra. Chant Om Namo Shivaya 108 times. It's very simple to do. You can do it on your commute, or you can honor Jupiter also. Om Guruve Namah. Ground yourself, practice yoga, walk in nature, do breath work to balance the restless energy of Gemini. And for Kalsar yoga, I have found that Om Ram Ravve Nama or Om Kem Ketave Nama, both these chants for Rahu and Ketu, are very good. Or you can do Shiva worship. Not everyone is suited to chanting. You can perform Rudrabhishekam, visit temples. There are certain temples that are set aside for Kalsarp yoga, like Triambekeshwar in Nashik. Use the energies over there to release the energies of the Kalsarp. There's another thing that a lot of people say is very useful is honoring serpent deities on Nag Panchami. Now, Nag Panchami is on July 29th. You can use that day, you use that energy to honor the serpent deity and avoid harming snakes generally. Actually, avoid harming every animal that you can. Donate food, clothes, and essentials. Accumulate positive karma. That is your cosmic roadmap. And the karmic intensity of Khalsa Yog is basically turbocharging the next 6 months of your life. Do not look at it as a negative thing. Normally, all these intense yogas that come, they are basically bringing fresh energies into the world. They are asking you to focus on something new, focus on growth. For deeper insights, you can consult a Vedic astrologer, you can contact me. Hit like, subscribe, ring the bell icon. And I am here bringing new cosmic updates every month. The skies are a very happening place. Something or the other is always happening, which correlates to events which are happening on the planet. So follow me to stay aligned with the stars. Together we can manifest peace, transformation, and positivity. Ride the cosmic waves with us. Namaste.